Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and for this video I'm setting myself the challenge to try and say nice things about bad horror movies. Got a few movies over here which certainly I didn't enjoy. I think for the most part were kind of universally received with criticism. If you did like any of these movies, apologies, but this is your chance to hear me say something good about them. So I'm going to go through them and I'll see if I can muster any thoughts of positivity about them. Now I've got them here out of the way. I put these movies to one side a while ago because I wanted this to be more of a reactive video. I didn't want to sort of pre-plan anything nice. I'm gonna just pull them out and see if I can think of something good to say on the spot. So yep, saying nice things about bad horror movies. Let's get straight into it. Alright, okay, yeah. So first up, we have August Underground. Yeah, nasty garbage movies these are. And they look awful as well. They're not even fun to watch. August Underground. I suppose, in a way, if August Underground's intention is to shock and sicken and repulse you, which I'm sure it is, then in a strange roundabout way, it does a good job of what it sets out to do. So, if in this movie's attempt to absolutely sicken you to your stomach, it is a rather well-made film. And that is the only time you'll ever hear me say the word August Underground and well-made film in the same sentence. Okay, what's next? Alright, okay. Right. Blood-Sucking Freaks. Another nasty, dingy little movie. I've tried this one a couple of times and I don't like anything about Blood-Sucking Freaks. Is there anything I can say though that's nice about it? I like the unapologeticness of Blood-Sucking Freaks. This movie just gleefully goes from one gruesome torture set piece to the next, and it does so with an unwavering enthusiasm. So although for me every part of this movie is garbage, the movie itself tends to like itself and has a weird enthusiasm at its baseline, which I guess is credit to them. So yeah, in that respect I like how they seem to like what they were doing. Right, okay, next one I've included is Evil Dead Rise. I know some people did enjoy this one. I saw a lot of criticism for it and I didn't like it personally. For me this missed the mark. Didn't feel like an Evil Dead film. I missed the humour in it, I missed Bruce Campbell, and it looked a bit dark as well. I couldn't tell what was going on for most of it. But I thought the scene with the shard of glass was really good. The bit in the kitchen where I think that the girl stabs the demon in the face or the throat or something. There was a scene in this with a shard of glass and I thought it was really well done. And it was a little bit, kind of made you scream a little bit because it looked very realistic and very gruesome. So yeah, although this wasn't a film for me, I did like that scene with the shard of glass. That was very realistic and very well done. Right, okay. Five Nights at Freddys. Another one that got a lot of criticism. A lot of people were disappointed with this. Me included. I was disappointed. But saying something nice about this one is pretty easy because I really like the concept behind Five Nights at Freddys. The idea of these sort of like children's animatronics coming to life and killing people, I thought was really cool. I really wish they'd have run with that more because she'd have had a much better film. So although it was a disappointment, this movie has a really good concept behind it. Right, okay. Alright. A big divisive movie here. Halloween Ends. Boy did this make a splash when this one came out for mostly negative reasons. I saw it at the cinema and was very disappointed and kind of hated it at the time. I have reappraised it, I've rewatched it, and I do like the movie for certain aspects, which I guess will constitute this video here. For Halloween Ends, I have grown to really like the story of Corey Cunningham and his character arc and the things that happen and the way he kind of links to Michael Myers. I have grown to like it. Is it a good way to end the Halloween trilogy? Absolutely not. But is it kind of a bit of a kind of off the beaten track, weird little departure for this franchise? Yes, definitely. So yeah, I have grown to like the Corey Cunningham aspect of this film. So yeah, I am a fan of, I have become a fan of that. But yeah, it's not the great way to end this franchise, but yeah, I did like aspects of that. Completely forgot I put this one in, but okay. The Howling 2. This one's pretty easy for me. I have to say, I really like The Howling 2. It's a big guilty pleasure of mine. Complete departure from the first one in terms of its tone. This one's much more silly, almost comedic at times, and unashamedly 80s, which is one of the big reasons why I like it. I love like the punk rock characters in this, the soundtrack, the 80s clothes, the 80s hair. You've got Christopher Lee wearing bizarre futuristic 80s sunglasses, some cool werewolf effects. But yeah, it's all wrapped up in this kind of just do not care 80s vibe, which I liked. So if you're going into The Howling 2 thinking this is going to be a continuation or a sequel to The Howling, then yeah, you'll be very disappointed. But if you watch this in terms of a kind of a Return of the Living Dead vibe, for me, there's a lot of fun to be had with The Howling 2. I don't know how many people would agree with that because this gets a lot of hate. But I've got to say, for me, I do really enjoy this film. Right, okay. Psycho, the remake. So yeah, not a great remake, a pretty pointless remake because it's virtually scene for scene the same as the original, which I don't quite understand the idea behind that. Something nice about this one. I like Vince Vaughn's performance in this. I think he does a really good job of Norman Bates, and I do rather like seeing Vince Vaughn in this serious horror role because he's mainly kind of associated with comedies. But I think he does a good job in this, and it's a shame it's this film that he's in because I think he could have been a bit more well recognised as playing an alternative serious role, but it's a Psycho remake. But yeah, I like Vince Vaughn in this film. Right, what's next? Right, Robot Monster. So yeah, regarded as one of the worst films from the 1950s. And it's not great, it's pretty bad in a number of ways, pretty inept. But Robot Monster, as with a lot of these 50s films and these kind of monster movies, and anything really with practical effects that people have worked on and people have built, they have a charm and they get a level of appreciation from me that no matter how bad the film was, someone worked on this, someone created that robot monster creature, they put it together and they put it out on screen. And you'll always get my respect if you do that. So with Robot Monster and most of these films from the 1950s and your silly monster movies, you'll always get a smile out of me. I know they'll always entertain me, and if nothing else, these have given us something to kind of smile about over the decades. So yeah, Robot Monster for me, it still has that 50s charm, and it's like, well, you know, they tried. So there's that. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. Saint Maud. Gosh, one of the most dreariest movies I've ever seen. Saint Maud. I'm struggling with this one. I mean, that tells you it's not great. I am really struggling to find something good to say about this one. It was so slow, and I found it to be a little bit pretentious, to be honest. I didn't know what it was trying to go for, but man, this was slow. Gosh. I think in Saint Maud there's a scene on the beach. As I say, it's a bit of a dreary film, but there's a scene on the beach, and I like the beach. I love visiting the beach, and I think maybe at the time I thought, nice beach, I'd like to walk there. I think that's the best I can come up with for Saint Maud. It momentarily has a nice bit of scenery on the beach. I'm sorry, but that's all I've got for this one. Yeah, I had to include this one. Sharknado. So many good things to say about this one, but Sharknado, I like that. I think they knew what they were doing with this. They knew it was unbelievably silly and wasn't going to be taken seriously, and they kind of just ran with that, and I think it gave them the freedom to do a few crazy and over the top things without kind of the hindrance of reality and having to think, why does any of this make sense? So you can kind of see that they've just kind of gone for it with this. It's like, let's not bother about critics or anything. We're just going to put out Sharknado and everyone's going to love it. So yeah, it certainly has the entertainment factor, does this one. And the last one, I knew I was going to include this, the last one on the list, probably the hardest one, Skinamarink. My gosh. So this is one of my, maybe the most hated horror film for me. I do not get it. I don't appreciate it. I know some people got something out of the experience of watching this, which is great, but not with me. It's a no sale for me, and I don't like it. So trying to think of something good for this one. I mean, this has become the benchmark of unwatchable horror. And to be honest, this is the nice thing I have to say about Skinamarink. It has become so solidified in my mind that this is the movie to beat in terms of awful, unwatchable horror. And in fact, I was watching a film the other night that I really didn't enjoy and was becoming quite incomprehensible. And I actually thought at the time, is it Skinamarink level bad? So in essence, Skinamarink has kind of achieved infamy in at least my world as being that benchmark of awful horror that bad movies have to reach to just become so bad that I struggle to watch them, which is not an easy thing to achieve because I watch a lot of bad, trashy movies and I have a high tolerance for bad and weird films. But Skinamarink, man, it took me 2 attempts to get through it. So Skinamarink has achieved its status of being that bad and weird that other movies can only try to get to. So I think that's a nice thing, and that's a backhanded compliment for Skinamarink. But wow, yeah, what a film! So there we go, guys. It was a bunch of films, 10 movies that certainly I consider to be bad films that I tried to find something nice to say about. Let me know what you think about that. Do you agree that they were bad films, and did I give them the credit that they deserved there? Or do you disagree? Do you like these films? Let me know why. And if there's any films out there that you don't like, see if you can find something nice to say about them. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.